Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Box Score Sports YouTube channel. I'm your host, Ryan, and what we're going to do is we're going to continue our NBA exit interview series, and we're going to do the Atlanta Hawks in this clip. So let us know down below in the comments what you think the Atlanta Hawks should do this season and what you would grade their past season and what they should do this offseason. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. So Clint, why don't we go ahead and get into the Atlanta Hawks this past season? They finished 40-42. They made it to the play-in game and they lost to the Miami Heat. Was their last game. What would you grade the Atlanta Hawks season?
So the season was probably on the whole a little disappointing. But I went with a B minus because I think the improvement and acquiring Dyson Daniels, and he ended up being hurt and missing a lot of the season, Jalen Johnson. But I think being able to have and see development in them kind of trumps. They probably wanted more than the play-in tournament this year, but seeing that improvement, I think, is reason enough to bump that.
Yeah, I had them at a B minus as well. I think I had them making the play-in game, so they kind of got where I thought they would. Traded Hunter and Bodon in the middle of the season, but I think the big thing was I think we can get excused because Jalen Johnson was a big part of their team early on, and he got injured the rest of the season. You already mentioned even Daniels didn't play a lot. He also was injured. But Daniels, his improvement, I think Johnson has shown that he's going to be a key role in their franchise moving forward. Daniels' defense, I want to just hit on that as well. And I also want to, Ricochet, which was kind of their first round pick, he had flashes and signs of like he's going to be able to play in this league and be at least a starter on this team. And I think like one thing they figured out this season is if they're going to keep Trae Young, they know how like they're building around that guy the way they should, which is long, athletic perimeter players that can pick up the slack on defense that Trae Young, just by his size, is just not going to be able to play. So I think that those are all some positive things coming out of the season for the Hawks.
Yeah, early in the year they had some stretches where they looked kind of idealized, where you have Capella defensive center, and then you put Johnson and Daniels around him. Ricochet, again, probably not your stereotypical number one pick, but you look for flashes with rookies, and he had, several games where you see, okay, it might take a little longer to get out of him, but at least he didn't fall flat the whole year where you're like, great, there's
Yeah,
nothing here.
yeah, he's no Anthony Bennett, right? Like that's him. It was a rough draft too, right? Like it wasn't a great draft, so they might have got maybe they got the best player out of that draft. We'll see how he develops. Any cons, anything negative about this season that you saw?
Just the injury and like Daniels, while awesome defensively, you'd like to see him be a little more aggressive on offense. I know his shot kind of comes and goes, and it's generally not great, but it seemed to in some of the, especially obviously being a Bucks fan, when you watching those, sometimes he'd swing him the ball and he just wouldn't shoot it.
Right.
So I think just building confidence or getting him to have a little bit more to take the shot or work on, a pull up, just something like that. Nothing major. Like I think the rest of the team, um, outside of injuries, wasn't terrible.
Yeah, I just wanted to add too, it was Trae Young's worst shooting season since he was a rookie. I think that's kind of a negative because you kind of hope that he continues to progress like somewhere around like 45% from the field. I think he was at 41% from the field, 34% from three. That's not really the numbers you're looking for Trae Young to be shooting. And like I said, it's has kind of dipped since his rookie year. After his rookie year went up, and then it's been just kind of on a downward trend. And I don't think that's it's not a great sign if you're a Hawks fan and if you're in that franchise. So I just put that down as just a little bit of a concern coming out of the season as well.
Yeah, I don't know if he's struggled scaling to a different role with the different players around him, where it's just
Could be.
not 100% Trey all the time. And hopefully, if you're a Hawks fan, that comes back. At least the shooting, even if he gets off ball a little, at least some spot up shooting or movement shooting would go a long way.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, let's look at their off season. So they have the 13th and the 22nd pick. Free agents include, I'll just say a couple key ones, is Capella, Levert, and Larry Nance Jr. Some resources that they have moving forward is that, like we mentioned, they have 2 draft picks. They have 7 first and 6 seconds, all tradable, and they have some financial flexibility as well. They will have their veteran minimum too. So, what do you see as far as their off season? What are you looking for?
To me, it comes down to like a Trey Young decision. Like
That's
he has 46, and then he has his player option, so he's probably extension eligible this summer.
he is. Yep.
Yeah, what's the plan? Like we see what they can do around him earlier this year. Was it title worthy? Probably not yet. You have a couple picks this year. It seems to be a fine draft, but more top heavy. Um, so you got to decide: can you win with Trey Young? I know we've said this for a couple of years, but are we going to go down the path of Johnson, Daniels, Trey Young? Do you bring back Levert? Larry Nance is a fine player, but again, hurt all the time. Do we keep down that and see if we can churn it out and extend Trey Young, or do you rip the band-aid off and just keep the young guys and see what you can do for Trey Young and try to build a different way?
Yeah. What would you do? Like if you're their GM, what do you do?
As a third party, I would probably explore moving Trey Young. I just think it's he's just really hard to build around, and it's easier to say as a third party because you're not in the market, and Trey
Yeah.
Young is extremely popular in Atlanta. But I just think things have to go. They already have to go almost perfect to win a title. But with a small point guard who kind of struggles off the ball, shooting is kind of waned. Probably not going to age great.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
not that he's old, but if we're looking out 5 years, I would probably decide to move on from him. He's just not my type of player,
Yeah.
but that's easier said than done. And I don't know with the history that we have, I don't know what team is going to blow you away with a huge offer for Trey Young. Is probably the other hard part of it.
Yeah, that's the difficult part is like what are you gonna get for him? Because like one thing he does do well is his facilitating. I think he had a career high in assists this year, 11 or something like that. So can I mean, they're like Johnson seems like he can handle some facilitating. Dyson Daniels showed some of that, so maybe you can replace that like as a group. Um, but I think one thing you can look at though is that the East is not going to be very strong next year. So you might be like, hey, can we just see how it goes next year and kind of fill in holes around Trey Young, see what progression some of these young players make and just see what we got for next year. You could go that route. It would make sense too in the sense of like, okay, the Eastern Conference might be wide open next year. So you get a good shooting year from Trey Young, good defense around him, it could happen. So yeah, a lot of I'm with you though, largely. I would probably move on from Trey Young as well. All the same reasons you said. Hard to build around and the just it's so hard for a guard his size to play defense. He can try, but he's like 5'11". I think that I was looking and it said he was 6'1". I'm like, he's not 6'1". Online it said it was 6'1". I'm like, no, he's not 6'1".
He's got some heel inserts and make him 6'1".
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Okay, let's go with our long shot for them this offseason. What's your like long shot move or moves for the Hawks?
one I thought of, if you're going to move Trae Young, is could you talk the Hornets into a Trae Young for LaMelo Ball swap?
Interesting.
Similar type of players. I mean, you have an injury risk, so again, I tried to pick something out there. Zion always comes up. Hate to just throw Zion on every team we talk about in the East, but if the Hornets are looking for something a little different, and the Hawks are looking for something a little different, both popular players in basketball culture, could you bring in LaMelo? Seems a little more eager to play or ability to play off ball than Trae Young. A little more size. Maybe you could get him to play defense again. Probably a long shot, but at least from a size aspect.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I think Brandon Miller would just have a conniption though, because he goes, I go from LaMelo to Trae Young. I'd like to see Brandon Miller get some options, but we're not here talking about him. No, the only long shot I thought of, which is I don't know why Orlando would do it, but like if Orlando thought they had a team that's already like built, because their defense is awesome, right? Like, could they talk themselves into Trae Young? And it would be like I did a trade machine with like Anthony Black and Wagner for Trae Young, and then you'd add picks, to get Franz because he's a little younger. Would you do something like that if you're Orlando and if you're the Hawks, and just add Wagner and Black to this team? And then that would get you size and defense, and then you would get some sort of playmaking ability, a little better shooting from Trae Young. Even though he has had a down year, he shot better than Wagner did, and a lot of other Orlando Magic did. So that was one trade I thought long shot. But if they were looking to move off of Trae Young, how would Orlando feel like adding Trae Young to the mix?
Yeah, Orlando is the team that could make it work, but
it's
I
hard.
don't think Orlando.
Yeah,
I don't think Orlando wants to go with the small based on who they've drafted and who they target. They seem to really go for the size, speed, athleticism. But if there was a fit where you could get him there without giving up too much, that is another team where his defensive limitations could be easily hidden on that team.
Yeah, correct. Okay, man. Anything else on the Hawks?
Nope.
Okay, well, thanks everyone for listening. Comment down below. Let us know if you like some of our ideas, or if you hate them, or if you have your own ideas. Let us know what you thought of the Hawks season, what they should do this off season. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Thanks so much for watching, and we will talk to you all real soon. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.